Yo, what's good? It's your boy J-Rod, and today, man, we are going to be ranking the starting NBA point guards for this upcoming season. A lot of good point guards this year, so this is going to be a tough list. You know, I'm going to try my best to not spam a bunch in one tier. So we're going to go in order, man. We're going to start with Cade Cunningham. In my opinion, Cade Cunningham, and this is my predictions for how they're going to be for this season. This is not how they were last year. This is my predictions. I am putting Cade in A tier. I think Cade Cunningham, by the end of his career, he is going to be in the top 10 point guards of all time. I'm saying it. I see a lot coming out of Cade Cunningham's career. Now, obviously, being for the Pistons, we'll have to see how good as they do as a franchise for building around Cade. But Cade himself, he showed a lot of promise, especially in that second half of the rookie. He had a lot of big-time games. He does everything great. He's just a well-rounded point guard while also being able to score at a high level, he does everything at a high level pretty much. He's literally like the perfect point guard you want on your team. So we're gonna go Cade Cunningham at A. Next we got Tyrese. I really like Tyrese. I'm gonna put him. This is tough. I'm gonna put him at B tier. He could definitely be low end A tier, but for now I'm gonna put him at B tier. I might move him up. Great playmaker. Had some really good games as soon as he got traded to the Pacers. You know what? I'm going A. I'm going to go A tier. I'm changing my mind. He's going to dominate on this Pacers team. There's no one else who's really going to be a big-time threat. You have some other good players. You got Chris Duarte. You got Buddy Hield. You got Benedict Mathurin, who I think is going to have a good rookie year. You got Miles Turner. You got Jalen Smith. You have good guys, but Tyrese Halliburton is going to be in the main focal point, obviously, of this offense. He's going to get the buckets. He's going to dish out. I wouldn't be surprised if he averaged 10 assists this year, especially if guys like Buddy Hield and Benedict Mathurin make their threes. Trae Young, we're going to go S tier. We're going to go S tier for Trae Young. You know, didn't have... I felt like he could have had maybe a better season last year. He still played really good, don't get me wrong. But maybe a lot of that was due to the Hawks' success, so maybe I'm underrating Trae Young's performance. But obviously one of the best pure offensive players on this list. Now, when it comes to defense, maybe that'd drag him down to A. I know people would be pissed if I put him at A, so I'm going to put him to S. I might consider putting him at A tier, though, because of that defensive liability. But we're going to put him at S for now, and we'll see if changing it. DeJounte Murray, I'm going to put DeJounte at B tier. Obviously one of the best defensive guards on this list and has developed his offensive game quite a lot. I don't think he's going to, be a top. He might have the second or third most points per game on the Atlanta Hawks, obviously being behind Trae Young. But I think the biggest thing for him is just going to be able to create more space for Trae Young, and play really good defense. So I don't think he's going to have an outstanding season when it comes to the stats. Lamela Ball, I'm going to put Lamela Ball at B tier as well, a little bit over DeJounte Murray. We know what he can do. Crafty, great playmaker, can get buckets, 3-level scorer. His team is going to be taking a step back from last year, though. Center play is very bad. You're not going to have Miles Bridges. His points per game might go up, but I think overall he could struggle with things like efficiency and maybe, getting them assist numbers up if he's not playing with great players. I still think he's going to have a good season, though. Next, we got Kyle Lowry, man. I really don't want to put him in F tier. I'm going to put him C tier. This season, his age really kicked in, and it's just showing that he is not, the point guard that he used to be. The biggest thing for him is not going to be the stats this year. It's just going to be, doing the little nitty-gritty things, playing defense, drawing fouls, being a leader. That's really what the Miami Heat need him for. They don't really need him to necessarily be a 20-plus point per game scorer, just to make the smart plays, get guys open, and be that type of point guard. So I'm going to put him at C tier. I'm putting Cole Anthony F tier. Now, Cole Anthony is a good player, but remember, this is comparing to all point guards. I see him as more of a six-man. I don't see him as a starting point guard. I see him as a guy who comes off the bench and could get you, 20 points when you really need it. So that's where I'm going to put him. Jalen Suggs, I am also going to put him down at the F tier below Cole Anthony. One of the most disappointing rookie players coming out of last year's draft. I still think he did show some flashes of athleticism and good defensive play. But he did deal with injuries, so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I still think he could be a good guard in this league. But at this moment, he is definitely at the bottom of the barrel here. Markelle Fultz. I'm moving Markelle Fultz up to C tier, just below Kyle Lowry, man. When he was given his chances, he was really... Actually, I'm putting him over Kyle Lowry. It's actually tough. I don't know. I'm going to put him over Kyle Lowry. I think he has a chance to be an MIP player if he could stay healthy for the season. We saw last year when he had 20... I think it was like he was on a time restriction, and for the 20-plus minutes that he played, he was top 2 in, like, most effective assists or something like that. Like, assists that led to easy buckets. He was, like, top 2 or 3 or something like that when he did per 36. Obviously, amazing playmaking guard, still has athleticism to him, can get to the basket. If he could just keep developing that mid-range game, I'm not even worried about his 3-ball at this point of his career. It's just keep being crafty around the bucket, find your spots, and hit the mid-range shot, all while being a great playmaker is what we need to see, and we need to see him be healthy, and I think he could do those things. Definitely in MIP conversations. Next, we got Monte Morris. I like Monte Morris. I'm going to put him, like, high-end F tier, maybe a little bit... I'm going to put him below Cole Anthony. I know it seems a little bit disrespectful because I do like Monte Morris. I still think he's a capable starting point guard in the league. He just does everything right. He makes all the right reads, right decisions. Not the best, perimeter defender, but he's pretty solid. Next, we're going to go Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, I'm going to put the low end B tier. I don't think he's going to have the same showing with the Knicks as he did in the playoff run with the Dallas Mavericks. I think he's going to take a little bit of a step back. Still the best point guard the Knicks have had in over a decade, for sure, easily, no question. And there's going to be guys like R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle that take up those numbers, but I still think he's going to have a good season. Next, we got Russ. Russ is a difficult one. I'm going to go high-end C tier for Russell Westbrook. I still have faith in him. And just because he's high-end C tier doesn't necessarily mean he's bad or garbage. I think he's just going to have to play the role that he needs to play on the Lakers. I think he should come off the bench personally. I think he should be a 6-man and run the bench squad and just be a guy who goes crazy when he has the bench squad. And then maybe towards the end of the game when he's in with LeBron and AD is sort of when you take that, seat back, maybe play some more defense and not worry too much about the offensive part of the game. That's what I think the Lakers should focus on. Hopefully that their head coach has the balls to actually bench Russell Westbrook. We'll see. But, I'm going to put him at high-end C tier. Next, we got John Wall for the Clippers. I'm putting John Wall a little bit over Russ. I think John Wall is going to do some good things with the Clippers. He doesn't necessarily have to be... Russ might get better numbers, but I think John Wall is going to be a better playmaker. I think he's going to be a better fit for this Clippers team, and I think he's going to be a little bit more efficient, which is kind of crazy to say because John Wall hasn't been the most efficient player throughout his career. But I think he's going to do what he needs to do with this Clippers team. And be that third option guy. Next, we got Steph Curry. Steph Curry, S tier. Don't have anything to say. Chris Paul. I still think Chris Paul is in the S tier. I really do. Am I crazy for putting him there at this point of his age? I maybe. I don't know. I could be. Maybe high-end A tier. I'm going to do high-end A tier. Maybe I'm not thinking S tier. Yeah, I'm going to do high-end A tier because also it is a little bit based off of stats. I don't think he's going to have the craziest stats in the regular season because the Suns don't really need him to. The Suns just need him ready for the playoffs. But, I mean, when Chris Paul really wants to, he can go out and take over. So, I'll put him high-end A tier. Next, we got Daveon Mitchell. I like Daveon Mitchell. I think we'll put him... I don't know where to put him. I really don't. I'll put him right there. Obviously is already one of the best defensive guards on this list. Offensive capabilities, he had some good flashes in his rookie year being able to score. It's just about having that consistency and being able to shoot the three-point shot consistently. We'll have to see how he fits. I still think he's going to come off the bench. Darren Fox. I think Darren Fox has potential to have a breakout year. I don't have a lot of faith in the Sacramento Kings, but I do have faith in Darren Fox. I'm going to put Darren Fox one above Jalen Brunson. Now that Darren Fox has shooters around him, he has guys like Malik Monk, like Kevin Huerter. He's got guys that could hit the 3-ball. Keegan Murray, if he could do what he was doing in the summer league in college. Space the court and make space for Darren Fox can get to the basket. And the Sacramento Kings also last season were one of the slowest paced teams, which makes absolutely no sense. If you have Darren Fox as your starting point guard, you should be a top 5, top 10 offensively paced team. Hopefully they go with a faster pace and just push the momentum, and I think that's going to help Darren Fox a lot, especially in transition. Next, we got Dame Dollar. A lot of people are hating and sleeping on Dame Dollar that I've been talking to. He is an S tier still in my books, and I'm putting him above Trae Young. He is that guy. He's a bucket. I don't care about the injury. Next, we got D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell was definitely disappointing in the playoffs, but he played a lot better defensively in the regular season. He did prove as a defensive guard. I'm going to put him... do I put him over Jalen Brunson? I'm going to put him 1 under Jalen Brunson. Still a pretty solid guard, though. It's just after his performance in the playoffs, I don't know if I could put him much higher than that. I do think it's a little bit crazy putting him over Russ and John Wall, but I don't know. I don't know. Next, we got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai in my books is an A tier, man. Shai's an A tier. I'm telling you, man, when you give him the important games, he hasn't had to play a lot of games where he goes 100% for OKC. If there's games where he needs to go out and get buckets, be that number one guy, he can be that. And when I mean number one guy, I mean number one guy on a team that's, trying to fight for a play-in/playoff tournament spot. So I think we'll see some big games from Shai this year. I think he's going to be a lot motivated than he's been in the past 2 seasons. Give me that. Next, we got Mike Conley. Mike Conley took a big step back last year, just not the same player he was defensively or even offensively. His three-point shot didn't look as good as it was a couple years ago. I think Mike Conley is... Oh, man, I'm slipping him down. Am I putting him under Daveon Mitchell? Am I being that disrespectful to Mike Conley? I'll put him over Daveon Mitchell. I feel like this is fair, just a little bit below Kyle Lowry. And then we got Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, say what you want. I'm putting him S tier. Between him and Dame is tough. I feel like I got to go Dame. I really want to just see a full season out of Kyrie Irving and them being a competitive team. I know Dame Dollar was injured for pretty much all of last year. But the season before that, he just had so many incredible games. And I know what Kyrie's capable of. Even this season, he had some crazy 40 bombs, doing insane moves. It's really tough. These guys are pretty much tied, Kyrie and Dame Dollar, in my eyes. But I'm going to do it like this. And then we got Jamal Murray. I am going to put Jamal Murray coming off of an injury. I think it might take him some time to adapt. But I think second half of the season will look really good. Obviously, Bubble Murray was disgusting. I'm going to put Jamal Murray high-end B tier. I think that's a fair spot for him. John Morant is going to slip into S tier, and I am putting him above Trae Young. And I'm dropping Trae Young to A tier. I'm dropping him. I feel like now I've put a good amount of players in S. I feel like Trae Young just isn't in the same line as these 4 guys. Trey Jones is a good guard. He does all the smart things, plays defense. He's just a smart guy, a guy you want to have in your rotation. I'm going to put him under Russ and John Wall, but over these guys here. He's not a guy that's going to necessarily change the outcome of your team from a statistical standpoint. He's not going to get you, 15 points every night, but he's going to do all the little things right. He's going to play defense. He's going to hustle. He's going to play make and make the right reads. So for that, you got to put him pretty high. Joshua Primo, I'm putting Joshua Primo at the bottom. I'm going to put him over Jalen Suggs and Monte Morris. Last season, I just didn't really get to see enough of Joshua Primo, but I think now that he's going to have the keys to offense, I'd imagine he's going to be the starting point guard. He's going to get a lot of opportunities. I could see him averaging around 15 points on just really bad efficiencies. So when it comes from a statistical standpoint, people might be like, oh, well, he averaged 15 to 18 or whatever. But it's like, yeah, he also played on a team that has no other scoring options other than Keldon Johnson. So I'll put him there. I'm cool with that. Next, we got Kevin Porter Jr. Kevin Porter Jr. is a weird one. In my eyes, I don't think he's a point guard. I think he's more of a 2/3. He shows some really good flashes, but obviously deals with some other things off the court, injuries, and consistency. I'm going to put KPJ. I'll put KPJ low and B tier, because at his best, I know what he can be. It might be a little bit high, but I'm going to put him there, and I think he could have a good season next to Jalen Green. Next, we got ourselves Dyson Daniels. So Dyson Daniels just got injured. I don't know how bad the injury is. I'm going to put Dyson Daniels, though. I'm going to put him at the bottom. I think it's his rookie season on a team that's trying to compete for a play-in spot / playoffs. I just don't know if Dyson Daniels is really ready to have big minutes in this rotation. Josie Alvarado, man. Josie Alvarado easily top of the S tier. I mean, no one does what he does, being able to throw guys off guard, get in behind to get steals. No other guards do it, so I think S tier is going to be appropriate for him. So next we got, okay, I'm just kidding. We'll put him, seriously though, I'd say we put him like high-end F tier. Man, actually, Cole Anthony, I'd put Cole Anthony above. I'd say this is fair. I feel like putting him over Monte Morris is a little bit fucked. I feel like I'm overhyping Jose Alvarado a little bit too much. I'll put him here. I think that's fair. Yep. And then we got CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum, I'm going to put him low end B tier. Could be a little bit high. Ooh, over Lamela Ball though. Okay, let me drop him. Now I'm geeking a little bit. Next we got Ben Simmons. I mean, we haven't seen Ben Simmons play in forever. He can't hit a jump shot, bottom of the barrel. Nah, I'm playing. I think Ben Simmons, if he actually decides to play, I think he's going to have a good season with the Nets. With the KD and Kyrie situation, it makes things a little bit complicated. I'm going to put him over DeJounte Murray behind CJ McCollum. I think that's a pretty fair spot for Ben Simmons. If anything, it might even be a little bit too high. I don't know. We got Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet is slept on. Very good point guard. Underrated defensive point guard. Averaged 20-plus points last year. Wasn't the most efficient, but he helped his team get to a 5 seed. I'd say he's somewhere around the B tier. And I say I put Fred VanVleet just below CJ McCollum and above Ben Simmons. I feel like I'm sleeping on DeJounte Murray a little bit too much. But I think that's just how it's got to be when it comes to him being on the Hawks now. If he was on the Spurs, it might be a little bit different. But now that he's on the Hawks, I don't really think he's going to get that same usage rate. Malcolm Brogdon, one of the most underrated guards in the league. Makes all the right decisions. Great defender. On the Boston Celtics for this year, so I do think his stat line will go a little bit down. I'm going to put him right there, below Jalen Brunson and over D'Lo. I would consider moving him over Jalen Brunson, but I'm going to put him just under. And then we got Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, I'd say Marcus Smart's a tough one. And this is coming from a Celtics fan, so I don't want to be biased either. Because sometimes Marcus Smart just has those games where it pisses me off, and then other times he's our savior. So I really don't know. Is it crazy that I'm putting him over John Wall and Russell Westbrook? Is that crazy to anyone? I feel like I'm insane for putting John Wall and Russ at the C tier, but you gotta remember it's at this point in their careers. Obviously, if it was their whole careers, they'd be S to A tier. Man, I really could be tripping with that. You know what? I'm going to put Marcus Smart right here. I think we're going to be respectable to Russ and John Wall. We'll put Marcus Smart right there above Trey Jones. I like that. So next we got Darius Garland. Darius Garland coming off an all-star year. Showed a lot of promise. I'm putting him up to A tier. And I'm going to put him above Shea. And a little bit above Tyrese. I feel like that's a good spot for him. Next we got Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, I'd say, could slip in right behind Darren Fox and above Jalen Brunson. Obviously, one of the best, if not the best, defensive guard on this list. Well, Ben Simmons is the best. But he's a top 3 defensive guard on this list. Offensively, he can have his on games, but he's not the most consistent. I'd say that's a good spot for him. Lonzo Ball is good as fuck. I think I'm going to put Lonzo Ball right here below De'Aaron, because we all know how De'Aaron torched him in college. And then we're going to put him over. Is that crazy how low I'm putting Jalen Brunson? Or no, you know what? We'll put Jalen Brunson, Lonzo, Drew. Or should it be Brunson, Drew, Lonzo? It really doesn't matter that much. I don't know why I'm geeking about this. I feel like this is better. Lonzo is nice, though. He just got to stay healthy. Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey, I'm going to put, I'd say, above Lonzo, above Drew. I'm going to do that. Actually, no. I'm going to do that. Okay. It doesn't matter. It's just, keep in mind, a lot of these are, like, pretty much the same. I know, like, because I'm trying to do an order left to right. Like, left is the best, right gets to the worst in that tier. But, I mean, between some of these guys, it's so close that I consider them equal. So just keep that in mind. We got 2 left in Luka Doncic and James Harden. Luka Doncic, best out of all the guards. And then James Harden. I still got faith in James Harden. I still think he's an elite level guard. I'm going to put him below Trae Young and above Chris Paul. So that's my list. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if I'm tripping. Let me know if there's anything that needs to drastically be changed. But that's my rankings. I'd say it's pretty accurate for the most part. I know I got a lot of people in B tier. I try to spread it out, but I think that's pretty fair. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Turn on those post notifications so you do not miss any future videos. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. And peace!